Detective Hercule Poirot? Ah, Chief Commissioner. On the contrary, it is a most convenient time. The safe passage of a painting? Tell me everything.
Hello everyone, I'm Nafanik. Today we play detective. I love detective stories. Most often there are murder mysteries, I guess, but that's probably because there is not many theft mysteries. I think that this one will be a theft mystery, unless there will be a murder. I'm not expecting one.
If man was meant to travel the oceans in such conditions, he would surely have been given his own fins. A distraction is what one needs. Where is that blasted contact? How is one to prepare for an assignment if one does not have all of the required information? Very well. I shall wait no longer.
Beautiful, isn't she? Pardon, monsieur? The open water. There really is nothing quite like her.
When one suffers from the mal de mer, the beauty, as you say, is rather more a burden.
Forgive me, I just can't imagine being scared of the ocean in this day and age. The potential to see the world is open to even the ordinary man like us.
I can assure you, monsieur, it is not a matter of being scared. And as for ordinary...
I didn't mean to offend, Mr.
I am...
Forgive me, madame.
No harm done. Accidents happen. My cigarette case, where is it?
I didn't see.
You thought I wouldn't notice? A young lady traveling alone. An easy target for you, I bet.
I'm sure the young lady would appreciate the help of two handsome strangers.
Prologue. The ship. Use left mouse button to explore the scene. Try finding the missing cigarette case. Alright, let's do it. Unknown item.
Huh.
And that is a cigarette case. We need to find 3 discoveries. Alright.
Ah.
Dated 1855. It's old, but is in near perfect condition. Which year is it now? An ornate family crest, the lion, traditionally associated with courage, nobility, and the British. The mechanism used to open the case. So we've discovered all 3 discoveries. A silver cigarette case adorned with a family crest, an item added to inventory. Wonderful. Collected items are added to your inventory. Click on the icon to check this at any time. A cigarette case adorned with her family crest, I presume. Return the cigarette case to the passenger's suitcase. Okay. Can we play this? Is it a game or is it not a game? What's the name? Hopscotch? The cabin. I have no reason to go there now. Okay. Anything else here? Oh, wait. A book. Reading. An excellent way to distract oneself from the surrounding ocean, accompanied with tea. However, I cannot agree with their choice of beverage. I love tea. I love coffee as well, but I love tea. Telescope? Where do you see a telescope? I don't... Oh, okay. A well-crafted brass telescope for viewing the open ocean and stars above, or spying on someone. Anything else that... a light? Where are you going? It feels like the game is a little bit buggy. And it's not cheap. So I don't know. I have no reason to go there now. That's interesting. Okay. Maybe that wasn't a bug. Passenger? Hello?
How could a porter be so clumsy? Let's give her a hand.
Well, he was drunk, obviously. Passenger's suitcase. Interact and use. Interact.
The young lady should not be left to gather her own things.
Use them? Okay. Oh, okay.
You are returning home?
I am. But how did you know that?
Select the correct answer to progress. Much like your investigations, you may need to keep searching for clues before you can solve this fully. So, crimson hair, such striking hair, date engraving, date 1855, it's sold but it is in near perfect condition. Line emblem, I would say.
Besides your educated accent, the crest that adorns your cigarette case, it is of British origin.
Very observant. It's the crest of my family, and the case belonged to my mother. I take it everywhere with me. Miss Florence Farquhar, a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The pleasure is ours.
That looks like everything. Except for my powder case.
Is this what you're looking for?
It is! Thank you, Miss
Babanin. Anastasia Babanin.
Anastasia. What a beautiful name.
It was my grandmother's.
Well, that's everything now. I can't thank you all enough for your help.
I'd be happy to escort you. Here, I'll take your bag.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. Cabin 4. I'll be right behind you.
Good luck, guys.
Anastasia, perhaps I can offer you a token of my gratitude in the bar later?
That would be lovely.
And you, Mr...
Detective Hercule Poirot, at your service.
A detective? I was not expecting to meet such a distinguished gentleman on board.
I did not expect to meet someone of Russian descent on a ship between the great city of Antwerp and Dover.
I never mentioned where I was from either.
Striking beauty. I cannot recall being taken aback by such beauty before. Anastasia relates to Anastasios. The name Anastasia is the Russian form of the Greek name Anastasios, meaning resurrection. I didn't know that. Eastern European accent. I presume she is from or closely related to a family with Eastern European origins, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's Russian, so I guess this is the one.
One did not have to. Anastasia, of Russian origin meaning resurrection.
And here was me thinking I was special.
Your knowledge of my heritage is most impressive.
And I'll take that as my cue to leave. Good evening.
It seems it's just us remaining.
I would very much like to hear stories from your homeland. Perhaps you would join me in the restaurant.
As charming as that would be, I'm feeling rather tired. It must be all the sea air.
Then I shall leave you to your slumber. Adieu.
They all look like
As much as
Sims.
I enjoyed the delights of the restaurant, I still found my mind drifting back to Mademoiselle Babagna. She really was quite charming. I have spent the first part of this excursion neglecting my duties. It's time to retrieve my notebook from the safe and begin. The combination was not a difficult one to remember. 1815, the Battle of Waterloo.
Oh.
1, 8, 1, 5.
Et voilà. Time to... One cannot ignore such a blood-curdling scream.
My mother's cigarette case! It's gone! How could somebody do this?
Why would he scream up because of that?
Mademoiselle, I ask that you take a moment to calm.
Is that... what is inside?
You're a detective, of course! What luck!
No cigarettes.
As luck would have it, one of Belgium's finest. Now, I require as many details of the crime as you can offer.
I came to my cabin and began unpacking. I couldn't get the safe working, but the gentleman that helped me with my luggage showed me how it works.
All right.
Afterwards, I went for a brief walk, and when I returned, the safe was open, and my cigarette case was gone.
We must consider the suspect list. Those who were aware of the cigarette case's existence.
That can only be those who were up on the deck when my luggage spilled. Miss Babagnan, the porter, yourself.
And your helpful stranger.
Yes, of course.
What helpful stranger? Or the other passenger?
I ask that you gather them for me. And while you are absent, I shall begin my investigation in here, if Mademoiselle permits.
Whatever you need to do to find it.
Alrighty. Oh. New mind map unlocked. The theft of Mademoiselle Farquhar cigarette case has plagued me for long enough. I must consider everything I know and deduce the true thief. Whenever Poirot uncovers an interesting area of investigation, a mind map is launched. Here you can see all the evidence related to your very first investigation. Using your mouse, try highlighting each piece of evidence to see Poirot's interpretation of them. Let's start. Cigarette case. A sterling silver cigarette case that belonged to Mademoiselle Farquhar's mother was stolen from the safe in her cabin. Knew the safe combination code. Mademoiselle Farquhar must have been aware of the safe combination code to open the safe in the first place. And the other gentleman was alone in her cabin. She wasn't alone. Mademoiselle Farquhar has not had any visitors to her cabin before her cry for help, that is. Wait, she told that passenger, the other passenger, helped her to figure out how that works, so I assume that he was inside, no? Keys to room. Mademoiselle Farquhar's set of keys to her cabin given to her when boarding the ship, no doubt. It's important to pay attention to all evidence information given. This will become vital as you start making deductions. For now, press right mouse button to return to the scene. Explore the cabin for more clues. Use... Oh, okay. Wonderful. Room safe.
Oh.
There is 4 discoveries. The first one. If the thief left any signs of accessing the safe, perhaps a fingerprint on the dial will be it. How can we check that? Can we? There are no clear or obvious signs that the safe has been tampered with. The thief must have found another way in.
Aha.
The door remains open and the contents missing. There is the 4th discovery somewhere. This must have only become obvious once the safe was moved. Perhaps the cleaners should reassess their standards. You mean there is dust?
Mademoiselle, I thought you would be returning with the gentleman also.
The gentleman wanted to speak to the porter alone first.
Okay.
I was unaware he is also a detective.
He's not a policeman. He works in insurance, I believe.
I believe that's Hastings.
It appears I shall be spending my time chasing amateur detectives around the ship. Mademoiselle, I would like to start with who had access to the safe combination.
No one. It was in a sealed envelope that was waiting for me when I arrived. I memorized it and threw the paper overboard. 4385. It's really not that difficult to remember.
Maybe it is not, but just in case I will take a picture. 4385. Wonderful.
A similar envelope was waiting for me upon my arrival. The date of the Battle of Waterloo, as I recall. Every safe, although identical, must have a different combination.
That's only logical.
After the gentleman helped me with the safe, he left.
If the mysterious gentleman is behind the theft, he went to great lengths to hide his fingerprints, but did little to hide his movements in Mademoiselle Farquhar's cabin. There are many questions that require answers. Answers I believe he may hold.
So do we wait for him? New mind map up unlocked. Investigating a theft was one of the last things I expected for my journey to London. But as an officer of the law, it is my duty to find who could have stolen Mademoiselle Farquhar's cigarette case and wipe. Wait, well, I know about him, but I know about him like in his more mature age, I guess. So, and he never, maybe he was, but like in books, when you read books, he wasn't a policeman, he wasn't an officer. So I'm surprised to read this, that he's an officer of the law. Notice the number of this icon has been updated. Try connecting two pieces of evidence to form a deduction. Pay attention to the information given to succeed. Use mouse to highlight notes and left mouse button to stop linking. Ship cabin. Florence Farquhar's residence while on board. No sign of tampering. There is no clear or obvious signs that the safe has been tampered with. The thief must have found another way in. And the dial. If the thief left any signs of accessing the safe, perhaps a fingerprint on the dial will be it, but I assume there wasn't, so do I connect these two? I don't understand. Not quite. But I have only these two.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Okay. Well done, you just made your first deduction. Linking existing evidence gives you a brand new evidence to use in the investigation. Use the right mouse button to return to the scene. I want to... What? Given the state of the safe, I assume that the thief simply entered the code and took the contents. Okay, I'm out. There is a letter. Florence's gala invitation. But that's personal, no? Try exploring the rest of the ship, it says. Okay. Poirot, I will be attending in a professional capacity, but I would have very much liked an invite of my own as a souvenir of my time in London. The committee, the Royal Edward Gallery, requests the pleasure of the presence of Miss Florence Farquhar to the unveiling of an extraordinary new exhibition from the Musée Royal des Beaux-Arts de Belgique, including the Penitent Magdalene, and that's it, I guess. The formal invitation on one side, blank on the other. Is that important? But you stole an invitation right now. I don't know how to feel about it. There is no more clues. No, wrong, everything wrong. Okay, this is how you do it. You need to scroll your wheel. Okay. Sink. Where do you see sink? I don't see any sink. Sink. There is no... Ah! On that side. One must present themselves at their best at all times. The mirror is a little high for my statue, however. I certainly agree. So if I continue in this direction, yes. Okay. Wait a second, there is something. No, that's Anastasia. Newspaper article. An article from the London Illustrated News. The changing world in which we live and who is permitted to enjoy it. Florence Farquhar. Oh, so she's the journalist. Fine art, theatre and literature, as well as other mediums that are synonymous with the arts, have always been considered a middle and upper class area of enjoyment and pastime, with those that fall outside of their desired audience being shunned at the door. Even now, having taken the steps into the 20th century, there are those that continue to exclude the inexperienced and uneducated, the working class, that have not had the privilege of seeing the true beauty of a Monet or read the powerful and relevant words of Charles Dickens in all their splendor. We now sit at the dawn of a new age, with London continuing to solidify its name as a pioneer, bringing art, music and literature to a modern audience that care more about the contents of the art form in front of them than the contents of their pockets. Supper? And we are stuck. Wonderful. Go. Door handle. No, come back. No!
Oh.
These scratches must have been made by something sharp. A blade, perhaps. A fingerprint. The light is catching part of fingerprint. I do not have the appropriate tools with me, but I'm sure I can find a way to reveal the full print. Perfect. Can we now come back, please? Because... Alright, supper. It seems that Mademoiselle Farquhar chose not to dine in the restaurant. Florence's powder case? One must be careful with such delicate powder. A horrible mess it would cause, although it could come in useful. You mean for fingerprints? Anything here on this side? Do we want to talk to her right now or later? I think later. I'm still getting used to the controls. Florence's mascara? Makeup remains a mystery to me, but judging by Mademoiselle Farquhar's fashion sense, this must be a popular shade. A shade of a mascara? A luggage? I'm surprised Mademoiselle Farquhar's luggage made it this far without spilling with the amount she packed? Without spilling with the amount? I don't understand. That deck. I'm not ready to go outside yet. I wish it wouldn't show me... Maybe it does make sense. I don't know. Okay, let's talk to Anastasia.
Mademoiselle Babagnan, I'm sorry we must continue our conversation under these circumstances.
On the contrary, what fantastic luck that you are here. Now I get to see you at work.
Please walk me through your moments since our first meeting.
I'm afraid I've done very little, actually. After we parted ways, I went to my cabin. I had barely unpacked and I was fast asleep on the bed.
Alone?
It's so funny to see Poirot interested in women or anyone else, except for himself, actually.
That is a rather personal question, don't you think, Detective? I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. A poor attempt at a joke. Yes, I was alone.
Well, that's your alibi as well, so...
There is no need to be nervous. And then?
And then I was woken up by Florence's scream. I have never heard something so terrifying.
Right.
You have been most helpful, mademoiselle. I shall not take up any more of your time.
Very kind of you. So funny, actually. So what do we have here? This is the mind map. Wait. Don't understand. Can you stop moving, please? Okay. I'm so confused. And I want to scroll between, I don't know, or whatever. Evidence. There is two icons of the screen. I want to scroll between them, but it doesn't seem to be working for me. I need to press. Okay. Oh, these are suspects. Anastasia Babanin, intellectual, and conducting herself in a fitting manner for a woman of the times. Anastasia is an inquisitive mystery to Poirot when they first meet on board the ship. Little is known about her, but she is one that Poirot is keen to become more familiar with. Wonderful. And the ship. So, ship evidence. I don't. Okay, let's try it. View mind map. I'm a little bit confused about the soul. So, we don't have any links right now, but we have some people. We have Anastasia sleeping in her cabin. We have Florence and we have cigarette case. Okay. Getting used to it. Zoom in, zoom out. Alright, let's exit this whole situation and let's check the inventory. We have Florence's gala invitation, we have mascara, and we have a powder case. And we wanted to check out the door handle. I keep pressing all wrong buttons, it seems. Okay, the door handle I can use. So let's apply powder case on it. Perhaps the powder case I found may be of some use. Yes, some would say it is a rather rudimentary way of taking fingerprints. I say quite genius.
Magnifique. A fingerprint. Now to determine who it belongs to.
You found one, detective? Ah, how exciting! I suppose you'll want to take mine. To rule me out, I mean.
Of course. And he only will be glad that your fingers. I mean, I don't know.
You could ask me anything.
Would you allow me a sample of fingerprint?
Am I to be used as your guinea pig?
I would not dare compare you to a guinea pig. Would you be so kind?
The answer is yes, of course. I have nothing to hide.
How are you going to take and compare our fingerprints? Oh, okay. So we have the paper, which is blank on the other side. So I'll take this and I take the powder case. This is not right. Come now, concentrate. So I will just try everything. Oh, wait. That worked. Okay. The thief knew exactly how to keep the identity hidden. I must now take fingerprint sample from the others. Taking Mademoiselle Farquhar's will allow me to compare what prints are hers with those that may belong to our thief. Followed by samples from Monsieur Hastings, but we don't know their names yet. And Monsieur Allard. The only fingerprint that remains on the door is the one left by Mademoiselle Farquhar upon returning to her cabin. The culprit continues to evade me. There must be something I have not considered. We're not considering yet anything. We're just taking fingerprints. Oh, so when you use mouse to move, everything gets highlighted, it seems. Okay, now let's go to the deck, I guess. What was that just now? Yeah, I'm surprised that the game is quite expensive, I would say. But, like, it's a little bit buggy, glitchy, you know, so maybe it will get better with time, but I don't know. The book again, maybe there are fingerprints or something. No, nothing. Okay, let's talk to them.
I'm sorry, but it's just not acceptable, Mark.
I've apologized to the lady.
And that makes everything all right?
It was an accident.
An accident that could have been avoided if you hadn't spent your morning drinking.
Gentlemen, you are behaving like two young boys in the schoolyard. It ends now.
Oh, the porter has left. Alright. Well, maybe finally let's get introduced to Hastings.
Is Mademoiselle Farquhar aware you are acting as her knight in shining armor?
Oh, here he is, the porter.
I wouldn't go as far as that. I think perhaps we have got off on the wrong foot. I'm Arthur Hastings.
She requested you to follow her to her cabin, no?
Oh, yes, she did, but I wanted to...
Speak with the porter privately? This was part of your investigation?
Well, I'm not a detective. I was just,
Then perhaps you will answer some questions that are vital to my investigation as a detective.
What can I do for you?
Your work is insurance.
It is. Is my employment relevant to Miss Farquhar's missing cigarette case?
No, we're just curious.
I hope you will entertain me for a moment. What would you say the chances of proving a theft in a case such as this one are?
Well, a report from a detective like yourself will certainly help expedite her insurance claim.
As I thought. It had perhaps not crossed her mind before, but being amongst an officer of the law and an insurance man, the idea of insurance fraud may have appeared appealing.
Aha! You wanted to speak with the porter alone?
When Florence, Miss Farquhar, told me that something had gone missing from her safe, I thought it must have been the porter.
I don't believe you.
How so?
I'd rather not say with him standing just there.
It is not I that controls the volume of your voice.
You must have noticed the smell of beer on his breath. I wouldn't put it past a man that drinks on the job to steal.
That is quite the accusation. And if you were correct, you wish to settle the matter with him privately?
I wanted to give him what for, but I suppose I lost my nerve.
Come on, you were talking like friends. Tell me more about your work.
I'm what some would call a middleman. I oversee the handling of recently sold items and put the buyer in contact with an appropriate insurer.
Oh,
The mention of insurance initially sparked my attention. But the more he talks of his work, I believe he may be my mysterious contact from Lloyd's of London.
yeah, that could be.
It was your work that took you to Belgium?
I can't go into too many details, but I'm actually delivering a rather special piece of art to London.
Oh, really? And you just tell everyone you see this information?
I'm meant to be meeting an official of some sorts that's supposed to be helping me, but no sign of them yet.
And it is confirmed. It concerns me that my supposed trusted colleague has found himself involved in the middle of my investigation.
And he's also not very cautious.
I will continue to withhold my true identity and see how Monsieur Hastings' involvement concludes.
Okay.
Merci, monsieur.
This really is an exciting case. Anything I can do to help Miss Farquhar, please don't hesitate to ask.
Your enthusiasm has been noted.
They are funny. What is happening? What is going on? I want to talk to him again. Mark.
Perhaps you and I can have a more civilized discussion.
I'll tell you the same as I told your friend. I will not be bullied.
Intimidation is not my forte. What is uncovering the identity of criminals and making sure they are punished to the fullest extent of the law.
And that's me?
That is what I am yet to conclude.
Is it usual for one to consume alcohol while at work?
Who said anything about drinking alcohol?
It does not take a detective to identify the distinct odor on one's breath.
Maybe one to calm my nerves. My sea legs aren't here yet, that's all.
How did you come to injure your hand?
I was in the cargo hold, cutting something with my knife, and it slipped. No harm done.
I am not quite sure you understand what that means.
So now I am stupid and a drunk?
Do you have the knife in question on your person now?
I don't. He stole it and won't return it.
Here you mean Hastings. I find it's quite funny. I don't know. So can I get the knife, please?
What can I do for you?
Monsieur, the porter's knife. May I see it?
Ah.
So we need to find discoveries. Evidence of blood. This must be what Monsieur Allard cut himself on. The tip has been dulled and there appear to be slightest metallic flakes still cleaning. How do we rotate? Oh, alright, like this. A standard handle for such knife. That's it? A sailor's marlin spike with a foldable blade and a stained spiked tip. So there is another door that is not interactable, and I cannot really go there. I have no reason to go there now. Okay, let's go back then. So can I do anything here yet? So we have Ship evidence, and we have a link there. Okay. No fingerprints on dials. No signs of tampering. Dial. Thief new code to the safe. No useful fingerprints remain on the door handle. So I guess this needs to be linked to...
The evidence suggests something else.
Okay, I'm not quite I don't quite understand how it works.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Okay, I don't understand. It is a lucky guess, but like I don't really understand how these connections work. I mean, okay, I don't know. No useful fingerprints remain. The thief has been careful to cover their tracks. Well, we know that, but I wouldn't necessarily connect these two. Okay, that's fine. Wait, I need... Oh, there are tasks, actually. Talk to suspects, inspect the ship, and check for fingerprints. But I've done that all already, actually. Do I need to come back? Wait, there is something else. Am I missing something? There is... Oh, this is the new evidence. Oh, there is many... I will be so confused at some point, because there is too many connections. And like this is a very simple case, so like if we investigate a real big case with a lot of suspects, with a lot of clues, I will get so lost. That's fun. Okay, so I assume that we need to come back. I guess I didn't take the fingerprints, but no, I did. Let's talk to Florence, maybe.
Mademoiselle Farquhar, I shall have your cigarette case returned to you before we reach the English coast.
I hope so, Detective.
Okay, so let's see. We have a lot of questions. Was the cigarette case insured?
Insured? Oh no, why would I have it insured?
Because you worry about it too much. Like, who would scream if they were missing an item? They wouldn't scream, like, wouldn't they? They wouldn't.
Anything of substantial monetary value.
I'll stop you there, Detective. The cigarette case itself is hardly worth 2 pennies, but to me, it's priceless.
Still screaming? Don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Has anyone been alone in your cabin?
Not for a second. At least not with my permission. You probably think this silly, naive woman has left her valuables out, or I've just misplaced them. But I assure you, that is not me.
It had not crossed my mind for even a moment.
The newspaper article.
You caught me, reading my own article.
Well, that's adorable.
I must say you raise a very interesting point. Art should have no social boundaries. Creativity is for all to enjoy.
Thank you for saying that. I wish everyone was as open-minded.
The gala invitation.
Yes, I'm really quite excited about it.
You have been invited to a preview at the Royal Edward Gallery. A small world indeed.
Will you be in attendance? It's actually one of the reasons that I have been in Belgium. I was lucky enough to have a sneak peek at some of the pieces on show. I'll also be writing a follow-up article on the success of it. Fingers crossed.
Lucky indeed. I am sure it will be a great success.
There appears to be scratches on the cabin door's lock. Who could have caused these scratches? Mark, Florence... Florence? That's not right. Okay, then Mark, I guess. Okay. Currently, the only suspect I have for scratches is the porter, Mark. But she could have used the key, I don't know, for some reason. Maybe her fingers were shaking or something. But also, she wasn't the first passenger ever using this cabin, so who knows? Why the porter? Owns a selling... Oh, I'm missing a clue. Owns a selling knife and he's an alcoholic. Looking at the condition of the door and its lock, I cannot rule out a drunken attempt to open it. I guess we finished talking with her now. What else? Let's talk to Nastasia again.
You could ask me anything.
We don't have any questions.
You have been most helpful, mademoiselle. I shall not take up any more of your time.
She's very, like, gentleman-y. Am I missing something? probably am. Let's come inside here. So there is a book. Oh, nothing here. Whenever I see trash bins, I want to find something in there. We investigated the luggage. We looked here. Newspaper article, we read it. Supper, we tasted it, I guess. Door handle, we took the fingerprints, and that's it. Well, yes, that's what I wanted to do. But I've done that already.
Magnifique. A fingerprint.
You found one, detective? Oh, how
Yes, we've done that. I'm just surprised that was still an option.
We.
We have
I shall
nothing
let
to
you
talk
return to your-
about anymore. And I'm missing a clue. Should I talk to Hessings again?
What can I do for you?
Oh, okay. Wait, but you've done that already.
Oh.
We have all the cues, the clues. Okay. Oh, we have a link there. So, none of the suspects knew Florence's safe combination code. Drunken break-in. Looking at the condition of the door and its lock, I cannot rule out a drunk attempt to open it. But no fingerprints anywhere. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Tracks covered. Like, if it was a drunken attempt, then there would be a lot of tracks uncovered.
Logical thinking shall always prevail.
Okay. Although the suspects did not have the code to the safe, there is still the chance that it was cracked open. The safe was cracked. Oh, okay, so this is the new clue that I must connect to something. But to what?
Hot on the culprit's heels.
Alright, that worked. The thieves' attempt to fool me and cover their tracks only shows they knew exactly what they were doing. Exactly, so that wasn't the porter. Even though he may have tried to open the cabin, I don't think that he actually stole it. Expert break-in. Well, these two don't connect, right? No, I don't... Oh, okay. I can confirm that the porter was nothing more than a scapegoat for the thief. The erratic scratches on the door lock were made to make me believe he was behind the theft. Oh!
The pieces
Smart.
of the puzzle are finally coming together.
My initial suspicion that the porter may have been the thief is beginning to waver. Would someone go to the length of framing him? And who would that be? So I've completed this one, right? Yes, it seems so. So do we have anything here? We have a lot of suspect clues here, and suspect as well, but we don't have any link yet. So, but I checked for fingerprints, that we understand.
I must consider the suspects I have in front of me. Monsieur Hastings. He is keen to impress Mademoiselle Farquhar and claims that he was alone in his cabin working since. Mark Allard, the porter. Evidence suggests a rather amateur attempt to break into the safe, which in his intoxicated state would make sense. But it was just a ruse. The safe was opened quite masterfully, leaving only signs of a poorly attempted break-in. Mademoiselle Babagnan, a new friend to Mademoiselle Farquhar, who appeared at a most convenient time. I cannot see a motive besides the obvious value of the cigarette case. But Mademoiselle Farquhar has made it quite clear the value is of a sentimental nature.
But what's inside?
Perhaps the best thing for me would be to return to my cabin to think. I fear my legs and perhaps even my evening meal will not last much longer amidst these waves.
Ah, detective. How goes the investigation?
What are these? It feels like the game hasn't been cleaned up and those are like developer's notes or something. What are those?
A good detective, better yet, a great detective, will find motive, means, and opportunity.
She found it! Miss Babagnan found it! Oh, thank heavens!
Where and how?
I was on my way to speak with the captain when I saw something shining underneath one of those pipes.
Strange that it was not spotted earlier by any one of us while on the ship's deck.
Maybe the thief was scared and dumped it for fear of being caught red-handed.
Miss Babanyan, Anastasia, you saved the day. I can't thank you enough.
And you, of course, Detective.
I find Mademoiselle Babanyan's explanation of finding the cigarette case rather coincidental. But without any definitive proof, I cannot suggest anything otherwise. The cigarette case has been returned and the coast is in sight, which is what is important. Although, there still remains a part of me that craves the truth.
Well, that was suspicious.
I suppose you can chalk that up as a victory.
A victory for Mademoiselle Farquhar, but not in the eyes of the law.
Well, if anyone asks, I'll confirm what a splendid job you did.
Very kind, monsieur. While we are on the matter of truth, Monsieur Arthur Hastings, you are here to oversee the transportation of the penitent Magdalene painting, are you not?
How on earth?
You are aware of my employment, but not of my true identity. Detective Hercule Poirot.
Wait, are you the official that I was supposed to have met on board?
Oui, monsieur. Please, accept my apologies for keeping my true identity hidden. But I had to be sure your involvement with the theft was purely coincidental. When it comes to the nature of our work, trust must be earned.
A little unorthodox, but I suppose I understand. So you can trust me now?
It continues to grow.
Well, we have a couple of weeks before the gala, so hopefully by then you'll trust me with your life.
Don't.
One can hope.
So the prologue has been completed. And this is the kind of the true game started. And I will continue the true game in the next part. So it seems that the game is kind of a combined effort over English and French, and maybe something else. I have to say I love it. Beautiful. Chapter 1, The Gala. I want to continue.
I don't think I'll ever stop being amazed seeing such incredible pieces up close.
I want to continue playing in the next part, please. Can you save, please?
One would certainly hope not.
I don't want to do discoveries right now. Can I come out? No, I have to do it. Okay. Discoveries. Eyes. Her lustrous eyes focus their attention to something in the distance. Lips. The contrast between the deep and vibrant red of her hair and softness of her lips gives a most feminine and tender appearance. Oh, there was something. No? Yes. A subtle and yet powerful halo circling Mary's head. I thought it was a hat. Don't see anything else. Oh. As near perfect complexion as I have seen before.
What do you gentlemen think of this particular piece?
Can it really be?
To a layman, perhaps. I'm afraid it's a complete fake.
No. Such eloquent and delicate work.
Very observant. But that doesn't make it authentic. You know, even Michelangelo himself was an art forger in his early career. See if you can spot the telltale sign of a forgery.
Huh.
The face of the young mademoiselle is unblemished. What? Craquelure on the dress. Have no idea what that is.
Huh.
Craquelure on the turban. Frax?
The craquelure is inconsistent across the painting. Surely a sign of a cheap imitation.
Very impressive, Detective. Unconvincing aging is one of the most common giveaways of a forgery, whether it be in the craquelure, the smells of chemicals used to artificially age the painting, pigments that haven't dulled with age.
Okay, I need to check this out. Craquelure. What is that? Like, I think that I understand, but I have no knowledge about this at all. Craquelure. A network of fine cracks in the painting or varnish over painting. Okay, yes, so this is what I thought it was. Wonderful.
Sometimes it's as simple as the materials used just not existing at the time of painting. The trustees were quite excited by its arrival, but it didn't take me long to identify its faults.
Quite the detective yourself, Mademoiselle Warbeck.
Please, call me Evelyn.
If there's one thing I've learned in the short time I've spent with the detective here, formalities and politeness are essential.
They are a cornerstone of modern civilization and must be upheld.
This city could benefit from more gentlemen like yourself.
Her voice is so familiar. I'm just convinced I heard it somewhere in a TV show or something. I will have to look this up. I will not be able to sleep today until I find out.
Now that the etiquette of our greetings has been decided, shall we finalize preparations?
I was hoping you'd say that. The exhibition area needs to be secured. I wonder if you would be able to lock the remaining doors for me? I'll lock the west wing door when I'm finished there. And if you could tie this ribbon around the handles of the main door for me, I'll leave it outside.
If securing the exhibition room is what Mademoiselle Warbeck requires, that is what shall be done.
Yay! Finally, I'm ending this part here. I'm excited. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Hope to see you in the part 2.